after he took an accidental elbow from Brazil's Jorginho de Paula in the third quarter. LeBron sat out the rest of the game. LeBron is expected to play Thursday in the semifinals against Serbia. Kevin Durant's 11 points moved him ahead of Lisa Leslie to become the all-time leading scorer for the U.S., male and female, in Olympic history. Durant has 494 points in 3 Olympics. Leslie has 488. The U.S. women's basketball team has a quarterfinal matchup today against Nigeria. The U.S. women have won 58 straight Olympic games. First ever appearance for the Nigerian women's team in the quarterfinals. Nigeria is also the first African nation to make it this far in the women's Olympic basketball competition. 12:30 p.m. tip-off on the Peacock Network. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need your dollar, that's what I need.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates small businesses, the enduring lifeblood of our community, with the launch of the KBLA SMB Marketplace. For the first time, small to medium-sized businesses will have an opportunity to promote their goods and services on KBLA and take advantage of our powerful reach and local marketing power. The SMB Marketplace is hosted exclusively on KBLA1580.com and is accessible from all our social media channels. Whether you're a small mom and pop restaurant, a car dealership, or a professional practitioner, we invite you to join in this new KBLA Talk 1580 initiative to promote your business. As a Black-owned small business, you don't want to miss this unique opportunity to gain new customers on KBLA Talk 1580. For more information, contact us today at smb@kbla1580.com. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
And if I share with you my story, would you share your shadow with me? Time to get paid.
Yeah, election time's coming. Who you gonna vote for? Yeah, if I was president, I'd get elected on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, buried on Sunday. They go back to work on Monday. If I was president, if I was president, if I was president, yeah. Instead of spending billions on the war, I can use that money so I can feed the poor.
That's Haiti's own Wyclef Jean. And we're going to talk about Haiti in this hour with our guest, Amy Willens. We spent a lot of time of late, for obvious reasons, talking about domestic issues with a major election just weeks away, essentially. All the news yesterday of Kamala's pick. We just spent the first hour of this program talking with Mark Morial of the National Urban League and Keith Ellison, the AG in Minnesota, who's worked alongside Governor Walz, and he's the person that Governor Walz tapped to prosecute the case of those cops who murdered George Floyd. In case you just tuned in, catching you up. That's what we did in the first hour. And so for the last number of weeks and counting, we've spent a lot of time and will. I'm headed to Chicago in a couple of weeks to cover the Democratic Convention live on this program. So a lot of talk for all the obvious reasons, once again, about domestic issues. And yet, I want to spend some time in this hour circling the globe, if you will, and sort of have a geopolitical conversation with renowned journalist Amy Willens. And we will, in fact, span the globe this hour from Haiti to Kenya to Gaza, try to make sense of what's happening in the world. And obviously, these things are not disconnected from the politics here at home. These candidates, Mr. Trump and Mr. Vance and Ms. Harris and Mr. Walz, are going to have to address these issues forthrightly between now and November, and certainly after November. And so I am always mindful that we live in a global world, and none of these issues are really that disconnected. So I'm pleased to welcome to this program once again our friend Amy Willens. Amy, good to have you on. How are you today?
I'm pretty well, Tavis, and I'm so glad to be talking to you.
It's good to have you back on the program again. Let me just start with this. We were playing some Wyclef, and I want to start talking about Haiti here. And again, a lot of this news in Haiti has been drowned out by all of the domestic politics. I get that. You get that. But let me just stand down for a few minutes, literally, and just give you time to just take us back as far as you want to, and tell us about how we found ourselves, how Haiti found itself in this current crisis, and we'll work our way up to what's happening in real time. But this story has been kind of pushed again to the back burner, although it shouldn't be, given all our domestic issues. So just take some time to tell us where we are, what's happening, what has happened, why we are in this situation in Haiti.
Okay, I mean, one reason it's important for us to talk about this, Tavis, is that the U.S. has a long, vexed career in Haiti, and it hasn't been always on the right side. Let's put it honestly, it's been often on the wrong side. Its friends in Haiti are not necessarily the friends of the Haitian people. The business class, which profits from cheap labor and the kind of society that's been built since the fabulous, mythical, fantastic Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804, when the Haitian enslaved people cast off their French masters, a little bit prematurely, perhaps, in world history, but since they were the first, and it's been the only successful so-called slave, unquote, revolution in history, I think that Haiti gained itself a pariah status from that moment on. With the white controlling economies of the world. It destroyed, basically, enslaved people's economy based on free labor of the enslaved. So I think that's a huge factor in everything we see since. But now getting to much more current events, because I don't want to spend my time in history, although one could. So there was the earthquake in Haiti in 2010. Killing something between 300,000 to maybe less large figure of 200,000 people in Haiti. It wasn't as big an earthquake as you can possibly have, but it was a very shallow earthquake underneath the capital, thus the death toll. And this, you would think this was a disaster and it would lead to rebuilding, et cetera. But immediately the international community came in with huge amounts of money that were then given to foreign contractors to fix Haiti. And the watchword, excuse me, was Haiti is open for business. Now, a lot of people thought that was a great thing, but I immediately had my antennae up, because opening for business means opening for violation and rape, as far as I'm concerned, with the international community in Haiti. And in fact, that's what happened. A lot of money was spent and very little was done for the Haitian people, and the Haitian government ignored. Cut to Haitian elections that were largely controlled by outsiders, including Hillary Clinton, in which Michel Martelly came to power, a right-winger, a musician. You may like his music. It's kind of great. But as a politician, he wasn't very responsive to the Haitian people, although he was sort of popular, especially among young people. Finally, he had to leave power because he had outlived his constitutional mandate.
Let me stop right there, Amy. Let me cut in right there. I'm just watching this clock here. It's a great place to pause. He comes in, Michel Martelly, great musician. You heard Amy say not so much a great politician. Eventually, he has to leave office. We'll pick the story up when we come forward with Amy Williams on Tavis Smiley.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month. If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Made fresh daily in Leimert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Amy Willens. We're going international this hour for all of our talk of late. Necessary talk about our domestic agenda. Every now and then we got to slow it down and talk about how these dots connect internationally. We'll get to that later in this conversation, how all this stuff matters to the presidential race we're witnessing right now. I promise we'll get to that. But I'm honored to have Amy Willens on this program, journalist, professor, and an expert. I've talked to Amy so many times over the years. I've been at this 30 years plus in my career, and I've lost track how many times Amy and I have had this conversation about Haiti. And the conversation is rarely encouraging. I'll come to that later in this conversation, Amy. It's rarely encouraging when I talk to Amy about Haiti, and yet I talked to her because I need to understand these things better. So, you were saying a moment ago, I asked you to give us a little bit of a backstory. We could spend hours just talking about the history in Haiti, but I wanted you to give us some history to walk us up to where we are in this particular moment. When we last left you, Amy Willens, you had left us with Michel Martelly leaving office.
Yes, so Martelly left office because he had to, but during his regime, there was a buildup in the gangs in Haiti. Not as much as we are seeing now, but these street gangs who got their arms and their ammunition through illegal means, but from Miami. All of these American weaponry that they were using to control the streets in Haiti. Then Martelly was replaced by his acolyte, Jovenel Moïse, who was subsequently assassinated in 2021. That assassination has been semi-solved. A lot of people have gone to jail in Miami. Nobody's gone to jail in Haiti. He was replaced by Ariel Henry. Now, Ariel Henry took over as prime minister, not elected president, and he ruled Haiti up until very recently, early this spring, when he was ousted really because the gangs took power. Mm-hmm. And they demanded his ouster. They closed the airport while he was away in Puerto Rico, and he couldn't get back in. I believe he's in California now, near me. I'm in L.A. Mm-hmm. And so now there was this vacuum of power. And suddenly the United States thought we have to replace Moïse with something that works. And people they've resisted all this time, they put together with so that was a kind of bunch of grassroots people called the Montana Accord, and they put them together with all sorts of elements in Haitian society to make an interim presidential council, and they chose among them, these are 7 people, a president, a new prime minister. Sorry, I get confused. Mm-hmm. And the new prime minister is Gary Conille. Mm-hmm. And Gary Conille is trying very hard to fix things, but it's gotten to a point that is crazy. Meanwhile, the United States, in combination with a couple of other countries, has decided to send in a Kenyan police force to control the situation. Now, there are about, 200 gangs in Haiti, some of them very large. and the Kenyans are sending in 1,000 officers, 400 of whom have arrived. And this is a situation like no other, really. Only Somalia is similar, and even that doesn't compare. In terms of being close to the United States, it also doesn't compare. And these gangs have ousted from their homes and neighborhoods hundreds of thousands of people, more probably than were displaced by the Haitian earthquake. They have emptied hospitals. They've emptied prisons. There is no functioning hospital in the capital of Port-au-Prince right now. Recently, with the Kenyan troops, the Prime Minister, Gary Coney, tried to visit the hospital to show how bad the situation was, and he was shot at and had to be evacuated immediately along with the reporters who went with him. The Kenyans fled, the police force fled, and the gangs just were in charge. And because the Kenyans are there, the gangs are a little nervous, so their response has been to move out into the countryside and take over places there.
Let me, first of all, thank you for just sort of giving us a quick walk through history, bringing us up to where we are at this present moment. Let me start interrogating this now. Let me start with this. You said a moment ago that there has been this search for something that works. Gary Coney is the current prime minister, to your point, trying to do the best he can with what he has, given the situation that he is in. And yet, that phrase, something that works, jumped out at me, Amy, because I don't know that there is something that works for these gangs. I want to ask you, what do these gangs want? But I'm cautioning myself in that question because I know, as you mentioned, there are all kinds of gangs. It's not like there's some convention here where they're all on the same page, like the Republicans were behind Donald Trump and Democrats are now behind Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. There are a bunch of gangs. They're not. They are disconnected. So I'm not going to ask you what do these gangs want, but I am trying to get to what could happen to satisfy these gangs. And if there's nothing to satisfy them, then we're talking about putting these gangs down. And now you're talking about paramilitary activity. My broad question is, what is to be done about these gangs?
Well, that is the $100 question.
Yeah.
Now, and maybe $100 million question, and even that may not be enough.
Yeah, exactly.
But the gangs spring from a political problem in Haiti, and the political problem is that there are so many factions in Haiti warring against each other, and one of the biggest factions is the business sector, and there are feuds and there are fights over turf among that sector, and those are the people who have reputedly, reportedly, allegedly, and down through history, hired gangs for protection from each other and for control of turf and ports and customs to get the cheapest possible prices on what they're importing and then sell them for the highest prices. So there are people who have started these gangs, but they never imagined the gangs getting beyond their control because the Haitian elite has never imagined Haiti going beyond their control. So in that sense, some of the gangsters feel that they themselves are revolutionaries. I question that because I don't think they have a social contract in mind for the future. But they are a symbol of the elites losing power to a degree. Behind all this flows drug money and the cartels out of Latin America. And Haiti has been used, it's almost becoming like a giant airport with no security monitors except for these gangs who will let through whatever they're paid to let through. So it's like an airport for transshipment of drugs at the same time.
Let me ask you then about the Kenyan police force. And there are three questions. I'll put them all together. You can take it as you will. Why a Kenyan police force? I mean, of all the places around the globe, of all the things that could have been done, I'm thinking of the UN. Obviously, there are any number of other countries. But why is there a Kenyan police force there, number one? Number two, what role are they supposed to be playing? And number three, how do they play that role, whatever it is, given the paltry numbers? You mentioned that they're sending 1,000, only 400 are there. Well, 400, even 1,000 can't do nothing against all these gangs. So why a Kenyan police force? What role are they supposed to be playing? And why are the numbers so small?
Well, it's a Kenyan police force because I think, of all the nations in the UN, the Kenyans agreed to do it.
Okay.
And when I say the Kenyans, as you've seen from recent news from Kenya, where there's been a lot of unrest against the president, William Ruto, I mean, Ruto has agreed to it because he's in a bad situation. The country owes China huge amounts of money. He's trying to impose austerity on a people who, as you can imagine, in Kenya, the Kenyans are already living a fairly austere life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a lot of unrest and has had to cave to that unrest. But he saw money coming into Kenya with this deal with the United States, hundreds of millions of dollars, and that attracted him. What is their role in Haiti, the Kenyan police? Well, first of all, when I talked to Haitians about this when it started, they were like, what? The United States is sending in black people to police us, and are they any good? There were lots of doubts about the Kenyan police force, which has a terrible human rights record in Kenya. So there was a lot of concern about this. Would they be monitored? Would the monitors be monitored? Mm-hmm. Now, their role, the Kenyans' role, is not to monitor. It is to police, although they have not been very open with what the rules of engagement are for them in Haiti. Nobody's seen a piece of paper that says, we're doing this, we're doing that. It's not like UN peacekeepers, although the UN has sanctioned this role for Kenya. Also, 250 additional Jamaican forces are supposed to come in. And how do they do it? They haven't been able to do it. The first time they went out, their armored car broke down. So the Kenyans go out to show their force, and their car breaks down. All the materiel, the military materiel, is given by the United States and Canada, and this one broke down. So it's been very hard. I have further examples of how poorly they've done, but I'll save those for if you want them, Tavis.
Yeah. I may get back to that. What I'm thinking of in this particular moment is what you said moments ago, and that is questions that Haitians raised about the U.S. sending in black troops to patrol them, or certainly to patrol their island. What do you make of that? I was thinking as you were talking about that, and I remember when this happened, just kind of noodling this in my own brain about whether or not I think strategically that was a brilliant move, or whether that was something else. You tell me.
Well, I think it was a move by the Biden administration to appear not to be conducting another intervention in Haiti. And their interventions have been both very long, like the Marine intervention of many, many years in the early 1900s, and shorter, but also equally ill-advised and poorly conducted. So I think he didn't want to, especially approaching an election year, involve the United States visibly in an activity that could lead to American deaths on the ground, like the Somalian deaths of the consultants, and be a terrible optic. So they found a black nation willing to do this, and they said, okay, we'll send them. To me, it's like a double victimization. It's a big victimization of the Kenyan troops, these young men who are going across the world to fight gangs who are far more better armed than they are, and have more at stake than they do, against Haitians. It seems crazy. They're going to protect Haiti. And when I asked Haitians, quite frankly, how do you feel about your black brothers coming to save the day, they were very cynical about it, and they feel like it is basically a puppet force.
Yep, that's the word I was reaching for. As you recall, I kind of paused. I didn't know, as I said earlier, whether it was strategically brilliant or something else, and cynical is the word I was reaching for and couldn't get it. And so I'm not surprised that you say that, because there is a certain cynicism in that. And yet I understand that the world community, didn't want to stand by and not do anything. So I don't know that it wasn't the best choice or the bad choices they had. I don't know. Maybe we'll get back to that a little bit later. Let me go back to something else you said earlier. And you and I have discussed this again a number of times, but I wanted to have you on to bring us up to date as you have and where we are now in this small island nation of Haiti. I don't know that Haiti will ever be able to shake, and I love the way you put it. It's a sad reality, but your phraseology is brilliant. You called what Haiti has been enduring all these years pariah status. Just an amazing phrase, and it's so accurate. They have a pariah status, and I don't know that they will ever be able to shake that pariah status, given what they did fighting and winning their own freedom. I just don't know that the world community broadly has ever been willing to forgive them for that. And I raise this in the context of a world that is more colored now than ever before, and becoming more colored by the day. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe at some point we will see them as something other than pariah status. If any of that makes sense, respond to me, Amy.
Okay, I just have to respond to that because I always say in Haiti the most cynical thing is to always assume the worst. You have to have optimism. Otherwise, you've lost the game. And the Haitian saying is, hope makes life.
Mm-hmm.
L'espoir fait vivre.
Mm-hmm.
And without that hope, it's a dark path. So, yeah, of course I have hope for this. I believe even now with Conil, who is a product of Haitian politics, centuries old, his family includes great-great-grandparents who were president of Haiti. His family includes the Duvalier regime, people who worked for Papa Doc.
Mm-hmm.
But he sort of assumes everything in his history, and I like that about him. I think he can deal with the international community. I was not horrified by the fact that he went to Washington, first of all, when he was first named prime minister by the interim council. I thought that was good, although it was bad that he didn't talk to the interim council before he did it and alert them. Mm-hmm. So there's lots of that kind of stuff. But I have a lot of hope for Haiti, but I don't think the Kenyan force is of any use. I think what the Haitians wanted, although they can't say it because it goes against every grain in them, is like, a little force on the ground of American soldiers in uniforms coming in, black and white, to control things and to scare these gangs.
Yeah.
And the Kenyans don't scare them. The Kenyans are scared.
Yeah.
And they want people who aren't scared to take control.
No, as you said,
and not to take control, but just to pacify.
Yeah.
And I think one of the greatest desires is to take the younger boys who are in these gangs and girls and reintegrate them into Haitian society. It's a very scary thing out there for the future.
No, it's scary and a lot easier said than done, as you well know. When we come forward, I want to connect more of these dots. Now that Amy, in this first 30 minutes, has sort of given us a clear picture, a very clear picture of what has happened, what is happening in real time in Haiti. When we come forward, I want to connect what's happening there to here. We got a presidential race, and all of these considerations are on the table. Imagine how Donald Trump would deal with this crisis were he president, and then imagine how Kamala Harris might deal with it were she president. Maybe there's not much difference there. I do not know. We'll talk about that part when we come forward. Amy Willens on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Former President Trump says he plans to debate Kamala Harris in the near future. In an interview with Fox and Friends, the former president suggested he and Harris could soon reach an agreement after he backed out of a planned ABC News debate. 4 people are now charged in connection to the death of a black man who died outside of a Wisconsin hotel. In June, Devontae Mitchell was restrained and pinned to the ground by 4 security guards outside of a Hyatt in Milwaukee. Tropical storm Debbie is picking up strength over the Atlantic Ocean before heading back inland. The National Hurricane Center says Debbie is currently about 65 miles off the coast of South Carolina with maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour. The storm is expected to make a second landfall Thursday in South Carolina. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. At Blindster, we offer custom-made faux wood and real wood blinds and shutters, cellular shades, Roman shades, bamboo shades, exterior shades, and more, all at factory direct prices. Don't pay too much for new blinds. Go to Blindster.com.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The U.S. men's Olympic basketball team moved into the semifinals of the Summer Olympics after a 35-point win over Brazil. LeBron needed 4 stitches above his left eye after he took an accidental elbow from Brazil's Georgino de Paula in the third quarter. LeBron sat out the rest of the game. LeBron is expected to play Thursday in the semifinals against Serbia. Kevin Durant's 11 points moved him ahead of Lisa Leslie to become the all-time leading scorer for the U.S., male and female, in Olympic history. Durant has 494 points in 3 Olympics. Leslie has 488. The U.S. women's basketball team has a quarterfinal matchup today against Nigeria. The U.S. women have won 58 straight Olympic games. First ever appearance for the Nigerian women's team in the quarterfinals. Nigeria is also the first African nation to make it this far in the women's Olympic basketball competition. 12:30 p.m. tip-off on the Peacock Network. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580, where climate is king. Climate is king. We've got a lot to talk about.
Are you interested in catching up on all the latest entertainment news, trending topics, and exciting interviews? I got you. Tune in to The Raw Report with Robin Ayers, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. I'm your host, Robin Ayers. Join me every weekday with some of the best entertainment contributors in the business as we break down what's going on, who's got next, and what not to miss. Only on The Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on your every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle.
Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Free and Gentle. This back-to-school season, Tide and Downy are giving back with $1.5 million in scholarships. Enter to win. No purchase necessary. US/DC 17+. End September 30th. Rules. Tide.com/scholarship/official rules.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and renowned journalist Amy Willens, a professor here in California, UC Irvine, and one of my go-tos over the years talking about all things Haiti. I haven't gotten quite to the Middle East and Gaza. We'll get to that and what these escalating tensions in that region of the world mean for folk on the ground there. I'm still stuck in Haiti, this beautiful, wonderful island nation of the most resilient people I've ever met. I've been there a few times. I was just talking to my crew here in studio, Amy, during that break, and we were just kind of noodling this. And as my grandmother, Big Mama, used to say, this may be too much like right, just too much like right. But and I'm clearly no diplomat, but tell me why this doesn't make sense. We were talking earlier about the Haitian people being exploited, about the pariah status they have had perennially since fighting for their own freedom in this hemisphere. We've talked about the ways they have been and continue to be exploited, and I would even say colonized, further colonized by the international community. And so we were just kind of talking informally here in the studio moments ago about why the Kenyan police force, or for that matter any other force, couldn't go into Haiti, train those young persons who care about their country and about its future to patrol, to police and Haiti itself, and protect its future. If you sign those young people up to be trained to be a part of the military, you would pay them. We're throwing money at Haiti all the time anyway. Why not pay these young people? You train them and you pay them, so now they have money. That money is circulating back in the economy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you don't have this conversation about colonization. You don't have this conversation about the Kenyan people controlling the Haitian people. You're training them to do it for themselves over time. Again, I'm no diplomat. Maybe that's too sophomoric, but talk to me about that idea. We were just kicking around here in the studio.
Well, I love that idea. I wonder whether the Kenyan police are the best people to do that or the Haitian police. Why not just recruit bunches of these kids and put them in training? But the thing is, the gangs know everything. Mm-hmm. The gangs have informers among the police. They would come to the places where these kids are being trained and try to disrupt it. It's just such a dangerous terrain right now. And one of the ideas that I thought was a good idea at the beginning of all the conversations about what to do was to take bunches of Haitian kids and bring them to the U.S. to a military school where American military could train them, but large bunches of them, so it didn't seem like a class for future dictators the way it used to be, but a class of popular militants, basically, and train them on good weaponry, and then help them control the gangs. That would have been an idea. Someone told me, a military guy, I'm not remembering which one it was at this moment, but he said we could do it in 2 months. This was 6 months ago. We could have them up and ready to go the way they do their own people, and then send them back into Haiti. But I do think that there needs to be, for the Haitians, a visible sign of help. And they're not seeing that. They're not seeing that the international community, some of whom are really responsible for the situation there, whether deep historically like France or current historically like the United States, very implicated in the problems right now, and yet not willing to put any kind of presence on the ground. And I think another important thing is what we used to hate in the 1960s and 70s, military advisors. I think that's very important and strategically important, and for those people to be seen.
All right, let me connect these dots, or allow you to connect these dots as best we can. So we've got Trump and Vance on the Republican side. We've got Harris and Walz on the Democratic side. As I often remind people, because that's just my way, this is not a binary election. There are others who are running, Cornel West, Jill Stein, Bobby Kennedy, whatever, what have you. But those are our choices come November. Before I get to the choices, how ought this conversation be had in the context of a presidential election? Again, we'll talk about the choices in a moment, but in this moment, as we're discussing domestic issues and international issues, I don't hear Kamala Harris and Tim Walz as yet talking about this. I certainly don't hear Donald Trump and J.D. Vance talking about this. But tell me how this conversation ought to be had in the context of a presidential race, given that clearly we're connected to what's happening on the ground in Haiti, even if from a distance.
Well, I think it has to be had by people like us, Tavis, first of all, because we're not running for president. So every decision we make in public is not fraught with, terrible implications for the country. And for the Democrats say, because I don't expect it at all from the Republicans, to say we want to do something right for Haiti and then publicly discuss what they want to do right for a black country, it could be possibly not great both among black Americans. I don't know how involved non-Haitian black Americans are in this fight, and also among the generally sort of semi-racist white population. I don't know how much they want to hear about Haiti. I mean, I know from my own experience writing about Haiti that it's a limited audience. So, but I think at the same time for Americans to hear from Trump that he wants to abandon a nation of humans to what Haiti has been abandoned to also would not be good. But people don't even know. And people want to blame the Haitians solely for what their fate has been. And that is not fair. Haiti has been a satellite of the United States, and the United States is very much responsible for where Haiti is today, just as Cuba was a satellite of the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union and Russia are responsible for where that is today. You draw your own conclusions, which was better.
We all saw and recall that footage of those Border Patrol agents, that is, on horseback, maltreating those Haitians. The photos, the images, it was just vicious and brutal to see the way these Border Patrol agents were treating these Haitians. That happened, obviously, over the last 4 years, which means that it happened under President Biden's watch, which means that President Biden's vice president on his watch in this first term was Kamala Harris. I raise all of that just to properly contextualize what we're talking about here and to ask you your sense of how the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration, has done or not done on this issue of Haiti. It's not lost to me. She's a black woman. And if she's elected, she'll be dealing with the black people in this black country called Haiti. But as part of Joe Biden's team, how has Biden-Harris done or not done on the issue of Haiti, to your mind?
Okay, well, I'm just going to go with Biden.
Sure.
Because I don't know what influence Kamala has had on foreign policy whatsoever.
Fair enough.
But so I'll go with Biden, who said many, many years ago, if Haiti sank into the ocean or stayed where it is, no one would care. That's a nation of 12 million people, now more than 12 million.
He said that. Joe Biden said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
He said that. When Bill Clinton was thinking of intervening, which Clinton then did. That was Joe Biden on Charlie Rose's show. You can find it. So that was his sort of Trumpian moment, in my opinion. Trump qualified Haiti among the nations that I won't say on the radio, but it was not a nice word that he used for countries like Haiti, black countries mostly. So Biden I think has had a terrible record in Haiti. There's, of course, those videos of people on horseback with whips that hark back to the days of slavery and to the days of the colony in Haiti, and outraged everybody, I think. And then there's Biden's special program for Haitians that has led to visas for people to come to the United States who really need to be in Haiti. It's like he's making it easier for Haitians to come to the United States to flee Haiti and the unrest there, while not doing anything about the unrest and welcoming. In fact, scores of police officers use this program to get out of Haiti. So that's not good. You know? And I just I worry very much at the Biden administration's reluctance to engage with real democracy in Haiti during its years with the Montana Group, which was one of the leading possibilities to take over the country after Moise was gone. It's just very a very catch-as-catch-can policy, and not one that's very good for Haiti.
Our guest is Amy Willens, and more with her about Haiti when we come forward. And then I'm going to quick pivot over to the Middle East, the escalating crisis there. Tensions there are increasing, and everybody is on edge. The president and the vice president, speaking of them, were briefed in the Situation Room 48 hours ago about what's happening in the Middle East, and everybody basically is just waiting for it to blow. We'll talk about that part when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
From Lamert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone, and should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black. Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
Tavis Smiley and Amy Willens, as we continue our conversation, our geopolitical dialogue in this hour. Thought I'd pivot away from all the domestic stuff to talk about some of the international stuff in this hour that will matter in the future, certainly will matter on the tenure or during the tenure of the next president of these United States. So these issues, again, are not disconnected from our reality now or into the future. Let me ask one last question about Haiti, Amy, and then I want to jump right quick to the Middle East before I lose you at the top of the hour here. My time is getting tight. Again, no naivete in asking this question, but do you ever foresee a day when Haiti will no longer be exploited perennially by the international community at large?
I see a day, but I don't think not before 50 years.
Wow.
Not before half a century from today.
Why do you say that?
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Well, it needs a couple of generations living in a country with an economy that works, and the international community will have to begin to help with that, and obviously with the gang situation before Haiti can have that kind of healthy economy. And by healthy, I don't mean rich, although that could happen in Haiti too, but healthy and not twisted.
We could hop around the globe to any number of places where there are hot spots, but the hottest spot at the moment may not even be Haiti. The hottest spot may not even be Ukraine or Russia. The hottest spot is, I think, in the Middle East, and there are tensions that are escalating, that are rising. As I mentioned moments ago, the president and the vice president were briefed in the Situation Room literally 48 hours ago. But everybody's waiting for this thing to blow in the Middle East. How concerned are you? How scared are you about that region of the world?
I'm very worried. I was just talking to a friend and saying no one's paying attention because everybody's on to the presidential campaign, which is exciting, of course. But Iran is kind of a rogue and is attempting to build up its power in the Middle East. And for all his sexual bragging, President Trump is a big artist of the pullout, if I may say so. And what
I think you just did.
And what he did in
Yeah.
2018 was pull out of the Iran nuclear agreement. That agreement not only meant that we had an ability to see what kind of nuclear weapons they were perhaps constructing, but gave us a conversation with them to be having all the time in Iran. And that he ended. And then he had assassinated a very important military figure in Iran, Soleimani, in 2020. He single-handedly worsened America's relationship with Iran, but did not, and perhaps maybe even empowered it further by ending the nuclear agreement. So I would not trust Trump on that in the coming elections. But that's not something that can totally be controlled in the Situation Room. There have to be talks on the ground. I'm sure there are things ongoing, but it's very, very dangerous now, and it's all stemming from, although there was the recent assassination by Israel of one of the chief negotiators in the ceasefire talks, it's all stemming from Israel's uncontrolled, crazy, mad attack on Gaza, in which so many people, innocent people, have been killed.
Israel is fighting Hamas and Hezbollah at the same time. And again, tensions are rising, and people are concerned about what happens in the coming days. This is not a matter of if, but when. There's going to be a pushback on Israel. Not a matter of if, but when. And again, people are bracing themselves for that. In our remaining moments with Amy Willens, I want to ask her when we come forward how she processes, how she would handicap this election in terms of the way it will end, born of things that the candidates right now know not of, born of things right now that we know not of. You never know how changes on the world stage impact an election here at home, because it raises the question Amy just put her thumb on. If the Middle East blows up, do you trust Donald Trump to handle that? Do you trust Kamala Harris to handle that? It's an interesting question. We'll talk about that when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. benefitscheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference
for you. Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text LION to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text LION to 42424. That's LION to 42424.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley, Amy Williams. Got about 3 minutes left in this conversation. Amy, what's your sense of how, in the Middle East in particular, if things blow, it ends up impacting the race for the president in ways that we know not of at this moment?
Well, I mean, Biden would have to make decisions, obviously, with his people if something huge happens. Now, I believe that they can react without panic to anything that Iran does in the Middle East. And they can advise Israel to behave without panic. But Netanyahu has put Israel in a suicidal situation, fighting on two fronts, and really three fronts if Iran actively, personally takes part in an action against Israel. So there would have to be a lot of steely nerve and a lot of control of Netanyahu, which we haven't shown the signs of being able to do.
Nope. Amy's right, though. Fighting on not two fronts, but three fronts. They're fighting Gaza, fighting Hezbollah, Hamas in Gaza. On the one hand, Iran could respond at any point now. They're firing back at Hezbollah in Lebanon. So the Middle East is fraught with tension right about now. I got 90 seconds left here, Amy. I want to circle back to where we began this conversation, talking about Haiti. I have all kind of comments coming at me in this hour. I want to read this one right quick. Tavis, one big problem, I think, with Haiti is that Haitians who migrate often don't go back home to help build their country. Once they leave, they leave. I know lots of Haitians like this, educated but hands off. Any thoughts to that?
Well, I think a lot of Haitian Americans want to be Americans and have their life here. That's why they're here. They wanted to get out of this cycle of craziness. But I also know, I mean, maybe because I go to Haiti and this person who's asking you doesn't, but I know a lot of what are called diaspora people in Haiti who come in all the time trying to do good, establishing not-for-profits, advising the government, lending their support. So I hold out great hope for that part of the country, which is part of the country now. It's called the 10th Department, I believe, and it is allowed to vote, and it can matter a lot.
Amy Williams, you're always there when I call you, when I need to be educated and in tune with what's happening in various regions of the world, particularly in the tiny island nation of Haiti. Thank you for once again taking my phone call. She's a renowned journalist, UC Irvine professor, Amy Williams, who I've been honored to have had on this program. Amy, thank you. All the best to you.
Thanks so much, Tavis.
Good to have you on once again. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore, here of a black man who died outside of a Wisconsin hotel. In June, Devontae Mitchell was restrained and pinned to the ground by 4 security guards outside of a Hyatt in